U.S. sanctions against North Korea targeting two people the Treasury Department calls key leaders of Kim Jong-un's ballistic missile program, as Russia offers to mediate negotiations with the U.S., while some see any talks as a stalling tactic by the North.
They'll essentially go back to the negotiating table, but we've seen time after time again from the 1990s under Clinton to, I was very close to the six-party talks under Bush from when I served with the vice president, to they essentially use those talks to buy time to continue to develop their program both on the nuclear side and on the ballistic missile side, and have just marched forward to having a fully operational program that can attack anywhere in the world.
Meantime, we are learning there could be new evidence that the rogue nation is planning to use biological weapons. Joining me now, Lanhee Chen, Hoover Fellow and former policy director for the Mitt Romney campaign. Thanks, Lanhee, for being here. Some pretty disturbing news out of North Korea, and it's never good out of that country, but the possibility that they've been working on anthrax and testing missiles with anthrax warheads?
Right. Well, so we know that back in 2015, Kim Jong-un paid a visit to what was called at the time a pesticide factory. Now, the interesting thing about this is it's very easy for North Koreans, it's very easy actually for any country to flip the switch and go from manufacturing pesticides to manufacturing biological weapons. And so, in fact, a lot of analysts looked at this and said, hey, in fact, we have evidence, credible evidence, that the North Koreans are pursuing some kind of biological weapons capability. And if you add to that the fact that we've got defectors coming over from North Korea to South Korea that test for the anthrax antibody in their bloodstream. In other words, they've either been vaccinated against anthrax or been exposed to the anthrax virus, or anthrax bacteria, rather. This is a very serious situation, John, one that clearly indicates that they mean business.
Some defectors from North Korea are also showing signs of radiation exposure. Talk about what that might mean.
Well, it can mean any number of different things. Of course, it's a little bit inconclusive. It could be the case that they've had exposure to bad air. It could just be manufacturing side effects. Of course, it could also be side effects from exposure to nuclear testing. And so we really don't know exactly what's going on. We do know the North Koreans are committed to having a nuclear program. We know that they're committed to disrupting the peaceful relationships between countries in East Asia. And so they remain probably one of our most significant, if not the most significant, foreign policy threat we face at this point.
I want to take a graphic look at what the North Koreans have been doing in terms of missile launches. In 2012, they launched 4 missiles. 2013, 8, then 18 in 14 and 15, 16 in 2016, and this year so far, 24 missile launches by the North Korean regime. What does that say to you?
Well, it says to me that they want the world to take notice. They want the world to accept the fact in some ways that they have a nuclear capability, that they have the capability to deliver warheads that could damage foreign countries, whether it's Japan or the United States or even our partners in South Korea, and that they're able to do that with relative ease. And so they want the world to see that. So for the United States, it's important for us to continue to maintain the posture, first of all, that they cannot be a nuclear-capable country, that is unacceptable. But second of all, their belligerence is unacceptable in the region. And so the Trump administration has ratcheted up sanctions. They've imposed 7 rounds of sanctions this year already. I think that's the right thing to do, but we've got to keep the pressure on, John.
And the Chinese have suggested that they are on board with the sanctions, but isn't there evidence that the Chinese have also been illegally shipping oil to North Korea?
Yeah, that's right. Look, the Chinese have been bad actors on this for a while. They've been saying one thing and doing another. So it's important that we get the Chinese to work with us. I know President Trump in his meetings with President Xi of China has emphasized the importance of the Chinese coming along with us to contain North Korea. But it's going to be very difficult for us to do so if the Chinese continue to be acting in bad faith. So we do need their help in this situation, and they are going to be critical to peacefully resolving this conflict with North Korea.
Lanhee Chen. Lanhee, thanks for your insights.